Rachel, who was on a couple months ago. We did the episode with dreams, talking about all the creepy things like the sleep paralysis demon, and we're in the midst of fall and very fall vibes in her house, all the Halloween decorations and a fall candle. So I'm super excited to have this Halloween themed episode with her. And actually, it's funny because the one that we recorded has the most downloads, surprisingly. I really didn't think people wanted to listen to that as much, but that's why everyone likes crime podcasts. You guys like hearing about all the creepy stuff, so that was really interesting to me. So we're kind of going to be talking about similar things on this episode. Like I said, I wanted one that was like in the perfect time of Halloween. So what's on the agenda today is serial killers, creepy things, the origin of Halloween, ghost stories, all that stuff. So I hope you guys.
My favorite stuff.
Yeah, Rachel's favorite stuff. Her favorite holiday is Halloween. That's why I asked her back on this episode. I just thought it'd be super fun. So we are here. We're gonna talk about just all of the creepy stuff. And so, so Rachel, why is Halloween like your favorite holiday?
I think it stemmed from the fact that my birthday's in October. So like I feel like it just tied in with the whole thing. Like, I just always loved everything October, not even just Halloween. Like, I love the things that you do, like haunted houses or like the pumpkin patch or apple orchards. Like, it's always been the whole vibe. Like, I love it.
I feel like I mean, we've been friends for a long time. You're the longest friend I've had. It's crazy. We've been friends for almost 20 years, but I feel like I do always remember you liking Halloween. Like when I think of you, like I do immediately like have that vibe or memory for some reason. And so October is actually my favorite month too. Like Halloween isn't my favorite holiday, but I love the weather, just everything about it. Like if I could be born in a month, I would be born in October. So I'm jealous.
And we only get so much of this kind of weather. It's like before we have 9 months of winter. So it's like I really have to like get all my fall activities in one month pretty much, because it just turns into shitty weather immediately after.
Right, I agree, because like even this year in particular has been hot, but September was still pretty like summery, and so it's like October is like our full month of fall here. It's like we get the actual crisp 60-degree weather, and then it could be snowing by November. It's so hit or miss. So yeah, October is like my favorite in that sense too.
Except this week, it's literally been raining every fucking day. So.
I know. Yeah, it's hit or miss, but we've had some nice, sunny, crisp days.
Yeah, for sure.
So we love October. We're all about it.
Love Halloween. Yeah. I literally dressed up every single year since I was born. So I'm 28 now. It's crazy. I never miss a Halloween ever.
What would you say is your favorite costume that you've had?
Let me think. One year I was Cat in the Hat, and I really liked that because it was comfy, and it was literally like a onesie, and
How
I just
old
wore
were you?
that. I think I was in 8th grade.
Oh my god, I could see you wearing that.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that I really like.
I don't even remember other things that you were. I don't think we've ever spent a Halloween together, but I just don't remember. Weren't you Dorothy one year?
No, Jenny was, but I was like a gypsy. I was a 50s girl. I was Lieutenant Dan
When were you Lieutenant Dan? Why did I never know about this?
This would have been like still in my 20s. I don't know, but it was I was Lieutenant Dan. I think I was Pooh Bear. Like I was a couple things that year. So I was just going with shit that I had in the house, and I was like, how can I make this?
Do you have pictures? Like I need to see this Lieutenant
I think
Dan
I might have
costume.
one. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so
I'll
you.
have to show you.
What are you being this year?
I'm being the Steve Buscemi from Billy Madison. I have like his eyes printed out, and I taped them on a pair of sunglasses. And like in the movie, he was like bullied on by Billy Madison, so he has like a whole list of people to kill. And like on it, he like crossed it off with lipstick, Billy Madison's name, and like I'm gonna have like lipstick all over my. I don't know, it's gonna be stupid, but it's funny.
That's so funny. Do you think that people will know who you are, or you'll have to like explain it?
Well, no, yeah, they'll know because I'm using the same costume that I'm going to be wearing to my Adam Sandler birthday party. So he's in one of Adam Sandler's movies. So I mean, I hope people know because otherwise,
even if they don't, it's for you. You can explain it. Like I remember one time, like a friend of mine wanted to dress up as a character from Fear and Loathing.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever seen that movie?
I don't know.
I think it has
with Johnny Depp?
Yeah. I never saw it, but like when he said that, I was like, no one's gonna know who you are. And then he didn't end up being it, and now I feel bad. Because then he was like mad. He was like, I knew I should have dressed up as that, and you told me not to. And I'm like, well, I didn't think anyone was gonna know who you were.
Well, I feel like those costumes are always the best because they're like original, and they're not just like you go to fucking Spirit Halloween and get a nurse's outfit or like a shaggy outfit.
I know. Now I feel like the biggest asshole ever. Why'd he listen to me? He didn't have to.
Are you sure you're the sole reason he didn't wear it? Like,
yeah. I made him second guess himself, and I hate when people do that to me. So
yeah, that's true.
I feel bad. But no, I think your costume will be really funny and creative. What are you dressing up your dog as?
Well, okay, so I took pictures of him and his ghost, whatever, I made him a ghost. For pictures, basically. That was not... Yeah, he sucked. He wouldn't sit still.
I thought it was cute. Like, I thought that was going to be his costume.
No! There's no way in hell that he's going to sit down and fucking wear this costume. Like, he was putting his paw in the eye part.
That would have been hard because it's just a sheet.
Yeah, he's not with it. So, I mean, right now I have literally a handkerchief that says Happy Halloween, but it's his first Halloween, so I want to, like, get something on Chewy. I don't know what to make him. Like, I don't know what to do.
There's so many cute dog costumes. Like, I saw a pineapple. Like, it's simple, but I thought it was cute.
Yeah, but he's, like, in an in-between size where, like, he's too big for a small, and then sometimes mediums are too, like, I don't know.
No,
what does Sterling wear? Like,
well, Sterling's fat, so he had to get, like, either a medium or a large. I can't remember.
But is he bigger than Oakland or smaller?
No, he's definitely smaller. He's a Frenchie, so he's...
And he's in a fucking large? Large and in charge.
I know. He's he reminds me of a little pig.
Yeah,
Seriously, because
he
snorts and he's so, like, when you pick him up, he's solid. Like, he's just stocky and solid and muscle, and he just reminds me of a little piglet.
How old is he now?
4.
I can't believe that.
Wait, I have to show you.
A puppy.
I have to show you his costume. It's hilarious. I want to, like, see your reaction.
Who is he, like, is he going, like, are your mom passing out candy, or, like, where's he going to be to show off his costume?
I don't know.
She's
She'll probably take him on a walk somewhere. So, when I was looking up things about Halloween, I found this statistic, and it said that more people, especially millennials, are buying costumes for their pets. 20% did in 2018. Or no, 16% did in 2017, 20% in 2018. So it's definitely becoming more of a trend.
Well, people's dogs are their babies.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I saw this quote, and it was so funny. It was like a meme, and it said, dogs are the new children, and plants are the new pets.
It's true. It's really true. I mean, look at Aunt Abby with Ollie.
Yeah. The way you make fun of that dog cracks me up. Okay, look at this.
I love him.
Look at this costume.
He looks like it's like a sombrero. It doesn't even look...
It has the little claw.
Where did she get that?
Amazon.
I want to make Oakland Freddy Krueger.
Wait, they have a Chucky one too. That was funny.
Wait, they bought 2 costumes?
Well, my mom wasn't sure which one she liked better, but she ended up doing Freddy Krueger. But you should make him like a villain. Like that would be funny.
He won't wear anything on his head.
I know. Well, my mom had to like quickly get a picture, so that's really all it's good for. Because if you try to keep it on,
he won't wear it.
Right, like it sucks.
It would have to be like kind of like a costume that like goes
like a
over
one
his body.
piece, yeah, that goes on it.
That's all I can get out of him.
Well, you'll find something. Seriously, look on Amazon though, because I think they have. We got a little off topic here, sorry people, but anyways, I just think it's fun talking about costumes and costumes for dogs now. I think they're so cute. So more people are buying costumes for their dogs. When do you think that started as a trend though?
I don't know, because I know damn well they didn't do that shit when our parents were young.
No
like dogs weren't even indoor pets yet.
Exactly.
They were like outside primarily all of the time. But
they had actual dog houses that they would live in.
Yeah, I don't know when that started. I'm glad it did though. I'm not saying that I treat Oakland like a baby, but it's funny.
Well, pets are so spoiled now. Like, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So, okay. We're easing into all the Halloween talk, obviously. So now I want to jump into serial killers because I feel like it's such a fascination for people. They love the documentaries. They love learning about them.
True crime is just like...
Oh, yeah. Like, crime podcasts are the number one most listened to topic. I've talked to so many of my friends that love, like, the movies, the documentaries, the Lifetime movies. So it's very intriguing.
But it's crazy. Sure. Like, why does that intrigue us? You know? Like, is that kind of fucked up? Like, I have someone that I know that, like, when someone was... Like, when all that stuff was happening with Charles Manson, I think it's because he died, like within our... Like, when was that? Like... 4 or 5 years ago or something like that, he died, and like people were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it!" Like you're kind of like these people are like glorifying these people, like when they're like serial killers, like they're crazy. So like it's controversial because some people are just like, "Why do like people like obsess over this?" And then there's other people that are just like interested in it. So I don't know.
I think some of them have been glorified in some ways, and that comes naturally with being in the media, and they're only in the media because of the horrible things they've done. Mm-hmm. So it's like this chain, like they almost become icons in a sense when they weren't really meant to, but it's just because they were brought in the limelight for the horrific things that they did.
And like, some of them are proud of it. Like they wanted to do it so they can get like Charles Manson, so they can get into the spotlight. They wanted to be seen. They wanted their name to be out, even if it was in a negative way.
Mm-hmm. I just think people are so intrigued by like the psychology behind it. Like, how could someone do this? What makes them do this?
Well, I was talking to Justin about it. Like, do you think that they're born like this? Like, do you think that they're born like this, or do you think it's like circumstantial? Like, Justin was like reading it into it and was like, almost all of these people had fucked up childhoods, like all of them, obviously, and like they all had like abandonment issues. They like Richard Ramirez, like he was around his cousin who like shot his wife like right in front of him, and like then he went to go live with someone else, and he was like a peeping Tom. So like at a very young age he was like exposed to all this stuff, and like his cousin would like tell him that he like rapes women and like all this shit. So it's like if he didn't have those kind of fucked up people in his life, like these are like their like the fundamental years, like he's like a young like a teenager. So it's like that, like if you didn't have that in your life, do you think you would have, like he was with normal people, do you think he would be a serial killer?
So almost every single one of them, I would say, had a very messed up childhood, but other people have really bad childhoods. Like I'm wondering if there's a predisposition for somebody who has the potential to be a serial killer, and then their childhood abuse amplifies that, where like other people are abused as a child, but they don't become serial killers. So I feel like it's both. I feel like there has to be something in their brain or something inherently that it's like there, but then something like triggers it.
Well, yeah, because all of us can be like, I fucking hate that person, like, like even to the point where you're just like I don't give a fuck about them, I don't give what happens to them. But then there's like the serial killers that are like, well, I don't fucking like them, or even not have a reason to not like them and just fucking murder them. Like, it's like, obviously there's got to be something different in their heads. that makes them act on the things that they're thinking and feeling.
I read the biggest thing is lack of empathy. They have the inability to empathize with anything, including animals. That's why, like, another trait of serial killers is in childhood, if they kill animals, like, that's a huge, like, red flag right there. So the inability to even empathize with any living creature is, like, a core trait of a serial killer.
But it's weird because, like, some of them had families and stuff like that, like BTK and fucking John Wayne Gacy. Like, they had wives and they had kids, and it's like a double life. Like, it's a part of them that obviously they felt, but then they were also still able to maybe not even feel empathy or feel those things, but to at least fake it. Like, because how else would you get a wife? Like, how else would you be a parent? Like, so it's like, I don't understand. Obviously, their true colors are them being killers, but how are you able to have a completely different lifestyle where they don't know anything about that? Like, it's just weird.
Because they're manipulative. Like, they know how to appear charismatic on the outside. They're manipulative. Like, the core of them is that they do anything for their own gain. So if that means putting on this facade of having a family and faking it and, like, manipulating them, they can do that. But, like, when it comes to true empathy, they don't, because they're not telling their family, like, they're going and, like, killing people and doing horrible things. Like, it's all based on lack of empathy, manipulation. Obviously there's just something, like, I'm not a psychologist, so I couldn't, like, give you the exact reasons, but I know that is some of it. But it is amazing that there are people who, they are just like that. Like, there are human beings in this world who were serial killers and just had disregard for human life and would do really messed up stuff.
I feel like it's not a thing anymore. Not that I want it to be, but because, like, the technology and everything like that is so great, it's like you would never be able to get away with, like, serial raping or serial killing. I feel like how it was back then. Like, they didn't have anything. People got away with so much shit. I mean, obviously they got caught eventually after how many incidents, but I don't know, like, you just don't really hear about that anymore.
Yeah, I totally agree. It is weird. I mean, obviously, like, so in the 60s and 70s, this was a huge, that era, for whatever reason, brought to surface so many serial killers. But I think because of the way that technology has increased over the last 40 to 50 years, that's why there's been such a decline with it. I think that it's still, there are people like that out there or have the ability to, but maybe they commit crimes in other ways, or they kill someone, but then they're caught because of technology. But, like, without technology, like, there could have been several serial killers. Like, it makes me wonder, because the world is so messed up, what if there was more? Like, what if we didn't have technology and
there's
even
probably
more?
So much more. Like, just think about even in, like, the 20s and 30s, like, people were probably just, no, it's like so many people probably that have died and got killed.
Well, I'm watching The Sopranos right now, and, like, I like that show. It's really good. The premise is good, but oh my god, it is the most violent, vulgar show I've ever watched.
Did you watch the movie that came out?
No, I'm gonna watch it after I finish, because I have like a season and a half left, so I want to watch the prequel.
How many seasons were there?
There's 6. So I'm, like, midway through season 5.
Where's it on? HBO?
Yeah. Well, I watch it on Hulu, but I
Is
have,
it on
like,
Hulu?
I pay for, like, the extra, I know, HBO thing.
Bitch, that's expensive.
My mom pays for it.
I'm like, that's like $70.
No, it's not that much, but that show, like, so I even watched Game of Thrones, and that show could be pretty violent sometimes, but Sopranos definitely takes the cake as the most.
Oh yeah, they say like
violent.
Even their like what they say is vulgar.
Oh yeah, I'm like, oh my god, it's just sometimes I really cringe. I'm like, I don't want to see this, but that show, like, a lot of those, like, mob bosses or, like, guys in the mafia, they're very, like, narcissistic and, like, sociopathic. But
that's another thing, you don't never hear about the mob. Like, the mob was, like, a strong, like, it was like,
well,
it ran,
going back to, like, the 20s and 30s, like you said, when, like, the mafia
even in the 60s
existed,
the mob ran everything. Like, the mob started all, like, the locals, like the carpenters unions and stuff like that. Like, the mob literally ran America. And you never hear about that shit anymore, because obviously they have, like, their hands and stuff still, and there is still mob or mafia or whatever, but it's not as prominent as it was in the 60s.
But I feel like they would just, like, kill people. Like, people would disappear, and was it even a big deal?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me, because I didn't live during that time.
Yeah, it's just such a different time. We'll never know it.
I know. I actually, like, now I'm intrigued, because Who was it in Chicago? Oh my God, why am I having a
Al
brain
Capone.
freeze? Yeah, I know. I feel so
He
stupid.
actually had an
"Oh,
escape house over here in Joliet, in my mom's neighborhood.
oh, really?
Yeah, like he, for the longest time, I thought him and I had the same birthday, but we don't. So I was telling everybody, like, yeah, I have the same birthday as Al Capone. No, I don't.
When was he born?
I think January 17th, but I thought it was October 17th.
October 17th. No, I want to like look into the history of that more because I think that's super cool. Like, I just wonder what it would have been like to live in a time where that existed, or like you knew, oh, this guy's like in the mafia, don't mess with them, because that was like a whole different lifestyle and group of people.
Well, yeah, and then even just like to the point where it's like the Valentine's Day Massacre, like that happened right there by that pizza place that everyone likes, where like the pizza's inside out. Like, there's just so much history, like even in where we live in the state. Like,
but like, would you consider people in the mafia to be serial killers? Like, you know what I mean? Because it's like, how could those people do what they did?
Are they considered serial killers, or are they more like hitmen or like assassins? Like, I don't know.
True. Like,
because
what's
they
the
would
difference
kill like
between?
I think that they killed JFK, but whatever. That's a conspiracy theory.
I
but
love
like
conspiracy theories.
But yeah,
I think so too.
I think that they were, paid to do these things, and they.
Although I still think the government could have done it as well.
Well, the government was in with the mob. Like, they were, like, okay, so how Kennedy even got, this is off topic, but how Kennedy even got into the office was the mob was literally going house to house and were like, you're fucking voting for JFK. Like, he was, like, it's like this whole thing. Like, they had everything to do with it, and they took his ass out.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I didn't know that JFK was, like, in bed with the mafia.
His dad was. So, yeah. His dad was like, help my son out,
right?
And then we'll give you this, and that. Like, he made promises, and then JFK started doing shit like that was against what the mob wanted. And we're like, hey, you didn't stick with your promise. Like, we're gonna fucking kill you. And then bam, dead.
Interesting. Well, and if the mafia had the government somehow help them to make all of that happen, and it was orchestrated, then I don't know. That shit's crazy. I seriously love conspiracy theories. I think they're so interesting. I don't believe all of them, so before people come at me or think I'm stupid, like, it's just an interesting.
I feel like anybody that believes in a conspiracy theory, they're just like, oh, that's stupid, that's not real. How can you say that they're all
That's
fake?
not using your critical thinking skills.
It's not. I don't know. There's a bunch that I believe in, so we'll just.
We'll leave it at that. No, that's super interesting, though. But yeah, like, kind of going back to what we were saying, like, how, like, okay, so you have people in the mafia, they're hitmen, like, they're told you have to kill them, but what makes them different? Like, having the ability to kill somebody. Like,
there's no difference, I don't think. Like, I just feel like serial killers, they don't have, like, something to, like, Richard Ramirez, John Wayne Gacy, like, they just act alone. Whereas the mob is like a group of people. It's an organization. It's organized crime.
I mean, that's the same as like gangs and how they kill. It's like kill or be killed. So
So I mean, it's more organized. It's literally, like a whole thing. Like, that's their business. They make it a business to do that shit. Whereas serial killers, they have their own things. Like, some people will do this because it's sexual to them. They have to be violent in order to get aroused, and like they'll just act on it, or like they like will go after specific kind of people, like boys or girls or young kids or old women. Like, just it's something for them personally. Like, they're not doing it for the greater
that's very true.
Of other, So I guess that's what makes them different. They just do it for themselves, which is even more fucked up.
Yeah, that's very true. They are a lone wolf, and it's strictly for them, their needs, like this impulse that they have to fulfill.
Yeah.
Interesting. Did you watch the movie they made on Ted Bundy on Netflix?
With Zac Efron?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. First of all, why was Zac Efron Ted Bundy?
As a serial killer connoisseur, you probably are like, this is
Why does anybody even think, number one, that Ted Bundy is cute? Because he's fucking ugly. He has a unibrow. Like, he was like, I guess, like a good citizen, and like people liked him, and they said that he was attractive. And
I think for that time he was considered attractive. Like, I think that people have gotten better looking, so I just think for that era of time he was considered attractive compared to other serial killers. And he was charismatic and could lure women in, but Yeah, I mean, it definitely got glorified and spun into this whole different thing once they made Zac Efron the main character.
Yeah. I don't
A
know.
lot of people were annoyed by that.
What, that they casted Zac Efron?
And then
Well,
girls
because it's
were
like you're taking somebody that's like from
girls were
High School
making
Musical.
jokes about like, oh, Ted Bundy can kidnap me or some shit. Like, I don't know.
Okay, well, how does the victims and the victim's family feel when they see movies like this?
Right,
when
that's why
glorified?
people were pissed.
Like, I don't know. I understand documentaries, you know, but like, why do they need a story about them? Just like they made a fucking movie about, like, okay, they make movies about artists and stuff like that. Like they made movies about Johnny Cash and about Elvis and stuff. Like, why does Ted Bundy need his own? Like,
because it's entertainment. Because they know that people watch it. People love like making a murderer and like they just love crime for whatever reason. It's so entertaining.
I mean, I guess I can't say anything because I like stuff like that too. But I watch more like documentaries.
Right, like that in particular was
factual.
just a little bit spun into like a Hollywood type movie.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just like the Charles Manson thing. It happened in California. It was all Hollywood. Like the Beach Boys were involved. Like it was like this whole thing. So I mean, it's like, I don't know. I don't like when they try to make money off of it. It's really stupid.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think like there needs to be an intention behind it
or boundaries for the family.
Right, that's true. Boundaries is a good way to put it. So I did watch that, but I was like, whatever. Like I didn't really think anything of it because personally, I feel like I'm like the one person that doesn't really care about all of that stuff. And it's ironic because I was a criminal justice major, so you would think the opposite. But like, I don't seek out crime podcasts. I don't really like scary movies. I don't know. I just don't seek it out.
There's people that go so far as to follow it where they're like they'll like the stuff that happened with Gabby Patino and then frickin' what's his name, Lacey Peterson. Like they'll make these Facebook groups and they'll do their own research and like they'll investigate too and they'll reach out to other people and like they go so far as to like do that kind of stuff. Like just shut up, stop.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit much.
Save it to the experts. You're not an expert.
Yeah, I agree. Because then that just turns into like more conspiracy theorish as opposed to, okay, like DNA evidence, criminal psychologists, you know? Yeah, so that's super interesting when people take it up as a hobby because they're so obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I remember in one of my criminal justice classes, it actually was pretty interesting. It was criminology, which is like the study of crime. And so we did, I remember distinctly, like a class where we talked about serial killers the whole time. That's actually where I learned like a lot of the history about most of them because I really had no idea before. And so, where was I going with this? Oh, so Illinois State is in Normal, Illinois, and then Bloomington is like the town right next to it. And so my professor was telling us a story about how there was a police officer in Bloomington. So it's like similar to, remember like the Drew Peterson case?
Yeah.
Not Scott Peterson, Drew Peterson.
Yeah, he burned his wife in like acid, right?
I don't know, probably.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, he's the one that lived in Bolingbrook.
Yeah.
And okay, so it was like a similar situation to that, but it was different because this cop, I mean, he was like doing this for years, but he, again, very charismatic, seemed like he had everything together in his life, and he was like high up in the ranks of his police department, and he had a family, a wife, like everything seemed so picture perfect. Well, come to find out, he was a serial rapist, and he was targeting women and like going to their place, raping them, sexually assaulting them, making them do weird stuff. And because he was a cop, he knew how to like make them dispose of all the evidence. He would make them take a bath.
Yeah.
Take their bed sheets. I don't even remember his name.
This was Drew Peterson?
No, this was a cop in Bloomington.
Because there was I don't know, just keep going. I'm trying to think of something else.
Okay, we'll circle back to your thoughts. No, I don't remember the name of this guy. This was a cop in Bloomington, apparently. And so he would like make them take a bath. He would make them take their bed sheets and burn them, just dispose of like any shred of evidence so he didn't get caught.
Like this exact thing.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if it was a cop. He was like an ex-army vet, I think. And he got like dishonorably discharged or something like that. And he would make them clean up after themselves. And he would do all this stuff. And he was a serial rapist. And he would like hang out at like around colleges and stuff like that and pick up chicks. So like, I don't know. It was similar.
Oh, that's interesting.
But yeah.
I mean, it's probably happened multiple times, unfortunately, but it's interesting because apparently this guy, he would always target like pretty much the same kind of girl, like a younger, attractive female that had brown hair and I don't know, but so he eventually got caught, thank God, because being an officer, like it would be easy to get away with that, and so he was like out late at night and he was scoping out like this girl's apartment. Well, he would stalk these women too, and he was like stalking this girl outside her apartment at night, and there was another police officer, so someone actually made a call because he wasn't in uniform, so they just saw a guy being creepy and like called the police and reported it. So another officer on duty went out to inspect, and that's when he found him and was like, "What are you doing out here?" And something.
Oh, but he didn't catch him in the act, right?
No, he just saw him outside, and like I think that his gut instincts picked up, and they ended up looking into it further, and then somehow like all of this stuff unraveled, and they found out what he was actually doing. But it's like, how long could that have gone on if somebody didn't report him?
I'm surprised that he did that. I mean, I'm glad that he did that. His gut instincts, but usually like cops stick together. Like if he was just like, I'm sitting out here just chilling, then usually they wouldn't like question it. But it's good that he did.
Right, because he just knew, like, you're off duty right now. Somebody called you in being creepy. Like,
when did this happen?
I don't even remember. It was like kind of a long time ago. I don't remember any of the details. I just like distinctly remember the story and like how scary that is because, and again, this is nothing against police officers because they have a really tough job. This just happened to be a story of someone who was a serial rapist that on the outside seemed like somebody you could trust, and that's how a lot of them do seem, I feel like.
A bunch of killer women like that they've killed, but a lot of women kill, I think, out of emotion, not because it's like something that like, oh, I have to have it. Like the guys, like they'll do it, and it's like a sexual thing for them.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
That the women that killed, it's like I don't know, out of emotion.
Like I can't even name one woman serial killer, to be honest.
Aileen Wuornos.
You would know.
I have a whole book, like in my bathroom. It says "Killer Women." Justin's like, "You're gonna be in here one day." Shut the fuck up. But yeah, there are women serial killers.
But I only hear about like the men, like Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, John Wayne Gacy, like all those really famous ones. Like never really women that. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I just wonder, I want to like write these questions down and like talk to like a criminal psychologist and ask them.
I think it's so cool to have that kind of job. I wish I went to school. I would have done something like that. I always wanted to be like a private eye, even though those guys like just get roasted and laughed at. But I think it's so cool. Like I literally can catch anything. I'm a certified stalker.
Go into that. If you have an interest, like do it. Who cares?
I should.
You should. I've always wanted to be someone who could like go undercover and be incognito or like a decoy because it would be so easy for me because when I look young and everyone thinks I'm so sweet and innocent, so like they would never suspect that like I am undercover, I feel like.
Well, because you have your degree and all that stuff, you couldn't take that and like, I don't know, I think you'd have to be a cop to do that though, or like an undercover detective or something.
I mean, I was only like a criminal justice major because I wanted to go into law, so that was my reasoning for like.
But can't you use that degree for the thing like that too?
Potentially. It depends what I want to go into, but I don't know. For me, like I really don't have an interest like being a police officer, going into forensics, doing anything with crime.
Forensics? Oh, that would be so cool to me.
But there's like other like science classes you have to take. Like it's a lot harder to get into it than one would think. Like even government jobs are like super strict, but I don't know, people ask me, I just feel internally that's not like my path.
Yeah.
Because if I was more passionate about it, then I'd be pursuing it. I mean, it's interesting, but no, I don't really see myself like doing that in the future. But if it's something that you are super interested in, then you should like consider like going into a career with it.
Yeah.
So, what do you know specifically about like this serial killers? Like, do you know specifics?
I mean, like about specific stories. Like, if you were to bring up a serial killer, I could probably give you like the basic information about it. Well, what's basic to me?
So, like Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, I know that he targeted young boys.
Yeah, so he basically grew up and like it wasn't like anything like the other serial killers. Like his mom was pretty much crazy and his dad didn't really give a fuck. Like, he was like dismissive and just whatever. And I think that Jeffrey was homosexual from like a young age, and like back then it was like a weird thing to like, it wasn't like something that you just broadcast or anything like that. So he was having like all these feelings, and like he started off doing shit with animals too at like a really young age, and he like wanted to abduct some guy just so that he could like lay next to him and like feel him next to him, and like it was just shit like that. Like, it started off like, I don't want to say slow because that's like weird still, like to knock someone out with a baseball bat just so you can lay next to them and to fucking murder animals. But
well, yeah, that is how it started.
That's how it started, and then like he ended up, it's more and more and more just like, he had to keep feeding that feeling of like euphoria that he got from doing these things. Like, I'm telling you, like, it was like something that was like.
So it manifested into him kidnapping young boys, bringing them back, and then would he do sexual things with them before he killed them or after?
He would have sex with their dead bodies. He would
I
kill
remember
them.
that. Necrophilia or whatever.
Yeah, he would eat them. So he would like eat their. He ate organs a lot. Like, he would eat their hearts. He would eat their.
That is so crazy to me. So he was a cannibal.
That's disgusting to me.
But I feel like
they just take it to a whole new level. Like, why would you?
He was like the things that he did were so like intense and graphic and just weird. Like, he's like top 3 like most famous. But I feel like I distinctly remember something about him like freezing body parts. Like, he would keep them.
Yeah, he had that. He was one of the people that did that. Ed Gein did that too. But yeah, he was in Milwaukee, so he was in the Midwest too.
No way.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they have like this whole tour thing too, like if you go, because the place that he stayed at, and like, I think where some murders happened, there was like a hotel that I visited too that's like really weird and stuff like that. It's across from like the steakhouse, and I think like there's like this thing like after he like went to go have a steak, like I don't know. He's just, I don't know. That's another thing I was saying. Like, he didn't necessarily come from like a bad childhood. Like, obviously there was issues, but like not anything abnormal like what we wouldn't deal with. But we didn't turn out like that. So it's like it really makes you think like, are you born like that?
But do we actually know everything that happened in his childhood? Because
I'm sure that they've done like a psychoanalysis on him and stuff like that. I guess I just know like the baseline of stuff. Like, obviously having a crazy mom and having a negligent father is like, it's still like detrimental to his growth, and
But it wasn't like anything.
No,
so
I don't
out
think he
there
was.
That
I don't think he was like sexually abused. I don't think that he was like anything like that. I mean, he was weird in school, so maybe he got bullied too. But he still went to the prom with the chick.
That's why I think that it's both. Like, they always say nature versus nurture, but I'm not a like very black and white person. Like, I'm somebody who's like, no, there are shades of gray. Yeah. And I think it's both. I think that there's something internally like that gives them this predisposition, and then it's like something in childhood will like trigger it. Yeah. So if it's like suppressing like wanting to have sex with men and being gay on top of things with your family, and then that acts as like a catalyst to awakening whatever this horrible thing inside of them is that has to manifest into like these urges and these impulses and killing. Yeah. That's why like I want to connect the dots. Like, I want to talk to somebody who can fit the pieces together, but my personal belief is that it's both. It is nature and nurture.
Yeah. For sure. I think so.
So, yeah, he's an interesting one for sure, just everything he did.
Do you know one specific thing about, like, not one specific thing, do you know things about one specific person?
No, I pretty much know the basics. Like, with him, Ted Bundy, I think, was from, like, the Seattle area in Washington, and I know he would target women, and, like, one thing he did that they showed in the movie was he would, like, be like, oh, I need help with my car, and then, like, throw them in the back of the trunk.
He has crutches.
Yeah, and he would, like, he was a serial rapist, too.
Yeah.
John Wayne Gacy, he was from Illinois.
And his was little boys.
And he was, like, would dress as a clown as his, one of his jobs or his main job?
No, one of his jobs, and, he kept them in his basement. He had a whole-ass wife and, like, a whole life. Like, he was, like, again, another good citizen to society. Right. Like, he just had this, like, he kept them in, like, the floorboards and stuff like
Oh
that.
my God. Like when they were dead?
So he would have them do, like, side jobs and stuff like that. Yeah, when they were dead. He would have, like, these kids, like, he'd be like, yeah, like, do you want to make a couple bucks? And blah, blah, blah. And, like, he would have these kids come over, and then he would get them drunk. And he would be acting like, oh, I'm just, like, some guy that's hiring you, like, whatever. And you want to just, like, have some drinks with me. He would get them drunk, and then he would, like, say, like, here, put these handcuffs on, like, it's like a trick, blah, blah, blah. And they'd be like, yo, what are you doing? And then, like, he fucking kills them. Like,
Yeah, so, like,
one guy
he
got
had his
away.
own way of, like, entrapping his victims. They
they all groom their victims.
Oh, yeah.
But,
That's so, okay, so he would target little boys and kill them.
Yeah, like, teenagers and stuff like that. And then Richard Ramirez, like, his was old women. But, like, he did rape and kill a couple younger ones, too, like 8 years old and shit like that. Like, you're psycho, bro.
I don't know who that is. Like, I've never heard of him.
He's the Night Stalker. He's the one with the really fucked up teeth, and he would sneak into people's windows at night.
Oh, my God.
And they also called him, I think, a toe sucker. Like, he would do shit to...
Ew, so he would target women and, like,
older
rape them
women,
and
yeah.
was a serial killer.
Yeah, he was the one that, like, was around his friend or someone's boyfriend who was, like, a peeping Tom, and then the other one was, like, his cousin who he looked up to when he was younger, who, like, raped women and would show Richard, like, pictures and then killed his wife in front of Richard when he was, like, a little kid. So, like, that was him.
Oh, yeah, that would definitely mess with somebody's mind.
Especially at, like, a young age.
Oh,
but, yeah.
That's super interesting. That, like, makes me feel like I need to lock my window at night because I am on the ground floor in an apartment.
You leave your window open?
Not
I
open,
never
but
leave it open.
unlocked.
Oh, okay.
But
Bitch,
sometimes in this...
Why do you leave it unlocked?
Because I forget, but now I'm like, oh, I need to make sure that stays locked.
Yeah. I always just keep thinking, like, because I always watch scary movies, like, if I left my window open, I'm just going to hear, like, the screen get ripped open.
Ew, that's so creepy.
Well, last night I was watching this movie called Intrusion, and of course I was home alone. I'm like, why am I watching
Seriously, this is why I don't watch scary movies, because then I would just be so paralyzed.
It's like what we talked about last time. Like, I hate being scared, but then I'll watch shit like that.
Why do you like to scare yourself? No, I actually was looking that up, though, because it's totally an adrenaline rush for some people. Although they said you can technically be scared to death. Like, that's happened. Like, if you're so scared, like, your heart can just stop or your blood pressure's so high.
Yeah. I mean, that's why when people are so scared, like, they'll fucking piss their pants.
Right. Yeah. No, thanks. I don't need... No, that's
I
not
can't even
something...
imagine doing that. Being so scared that I piss my pants.
I know. That would be horrible. That's probably going to happen to me because I have bladder issues, so...
That happened in Squid Games to the old man, and it was sad.
I know. I hate that. That does make me sad. No, I just don't need an adrenaline rush from that. Like I said, I'll do it something else, like ziplining or whatever, but for being scared, no thank you.
Yeah. I don't know.
You're different, though. You're like, no, I like that.
Well, I don't know if I necessarily like it. Like, yesterday I took it too far. There was another movie I was about to start, and it was just, like, way too scary. So I turned that shit off. I was like,
What movie was it?
Madras or something like that, and it was about, like, in the 1970s where, like, I don't know, I didn't really get that far. I literally watched it for like 10 minutes and then some scary shit happened. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna fucking talk about that.
Absolutely not. You're a serial killer. Like, why would you watch a scary movie at home alone?
Well, there's like this other thing that like I literally cannot talk about. Like, it scares me so bad, and like I couldn't sleep for like a week last week. Like, I was looking up skinwalkers.
What the hell is that?
I don't even want to talk about it, but that scared me for like a week. Like, you're not supposed to talk about it. Justin hates when I bring it up. It's just like a scary thing. Like, I've seen stuff on TikTok, and like I heard these things on TikTok of like recordings of these people. Like, no.
We're not even. I'm not even gonna look it up as much as I want to know, because as soon as something is in my head, it will take me years to forget. And like, I don't need to be traumatized by that. Fuck that.
I don't need that in my life.
No, like, I'm a baby, and I said this on the last podcast we were on. Like, I don't fuck with a lot of scary stuff at all.
Well, guess what? We're gonna see Halloween tonight, but it's probably gonna suck ass. So.
I know. Well, okay, so I said before, like, movies like that and It and Scream are just like that stupid scary. You know what I mean? Like, okay, obviously Michael Myers doesn't exist, so I'm fine with it. Now, I will not do movies about ghosts or anything involving the devil. Like Exorcist movies, I don't fuck with.
I know, devil movies really scare me. I'm like, no. Like, I'll watch them, but I'm just like, this makes me feel weird.
To me,
and like, shit happens on set when they like film too. Like,
are you serious?
Yes. Like, you always hear stories like the poltergeist stories, and like, even when they were filming the first Exorcist, and I think even when they were filming The Conjuring, like,
yeah, I heard The Conjuring is like one of the scariest movies ever. Like, it's so, my dad watches those, and I'm like, I will never.
The ones that are scary to me are like Insidious. Like, I can't stand Insidious.
That movie is scary.
And then
that's because you have like a sleep paralysis demon and like weird stuff has happened to you.
So what was the other one? Sinister? No,
Never
I don't want to watch that ever again. I've seen all of them.
Wait, did you ever see The Fourth Kind?
No, I don't think so.
Oh my god, don't
Didn't
watch
it. Come out
it.
a long time ago?
Like 10 years ago, we were in high school and I watched it.
Why? Isn't that aliens?
Yeah. It's like, but like it's all based on a true story. Like these people actually were abducted and like they would come in the form of owls. Like it's just, I can't. Like something with that
movie. And we're watching it tonight.
Anything, Rachel, absolutely not. Like
I'll put it on tonight.
Okay,
and
then I'm
gonna
piss all over your couch and like I'm.
And Oakland already did.
I was gonna say me and Oakland are gonna pee all over the house. So no. Watch it on your own time. No, seriously, like somebody brought that movie up recently, and I was like, I totally forgot about it. But
maybe it was just scary then because you were little.
No. I watched this in high school and Insidious, and both those movies freaked me the fuck out.
You're like, no, I watched it yesterday.
And I couldn't sleep after, especially because I do believe in aliens. I believe in ghosts. I believe that weird shit happens to people when they sleep. Like, if I wake up in the middle of the night to pee, which is every night, if I even, like, think of something scary, I will just like freak myself out, and I'm like, this is why I don't watch these movies. Well, how do you think I feel? I'm home alone all the time. Like, I'm scared all the time. Like, everyone's like, oh, Anne lives upstairs. No, that doesn't matter to me. Right. I'm scared. Like, you've always have been though. Like in any house you've lived in, like when you would tell me
that it's haunted.
You were always scared when you would go to sleep. I did not understand. I thought it was the weirdest shit ever. And then Jorianne was like, well, there's spirits around you, so that's why. I have a friend who like had a similar thing where there was like an actual ghost in her apartment, and she even said, she's like, when I lived there, I would feel the same way. Like I would have to check the closet, like I would feel that there was a presence, and I'd be like afraid to go to sleep.
Okay, I'm 28 years old. Like I'll be 28 in a couple days, and I literally, like, every time I get up to go to the bathroom, I will check underneath the bed, in the closet, and I'll make sure that the window's closed. And like every night before, like when I'm home alone, I'll have to shut the spare room, check all that. If I take Oakland out to the bathroom, I'll have to come inside because I'll think like, oh, someone came in here within that time frame and check it again. Like, right. It's not a joke.
I know, because it's like a compulsion thing. Like, you have to make yourself feel less scared. You have to like check that stuff. Like, I don't like sleeping with my closet door open even.
I don't know how anybody does that.
They say you're not supposed to sleep facing a mirror. Like, I believe in feng shui because, listen, I can't. Like, if I wake up in the middle of the night, my biggest fear is like, okay, I know that nothing is like under the bed or in the closet, but I don't want to have a ghost encounter.
Do you sleep with the door open?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't either. But like, I don't even know why I check under the bed, because like, what am I gonna do if there was like an intruder or something? What in the fuck I'm not even prepared.
What if you just saw like a pair of glowing eyes or something really fucked up?
Shut up, you're making me sick.
I know, you're making me sick. Well, something that's gonna make you sick. So obviously we have different routines when we sleep, and there was one night where my dad and his girlfriend weren't home. They were out of town, and I was exhausted. Like, just as soon as I hit the pillow, like, I went to sleep, and I didn't realize, like, the TV wasn't on. It was pitch black. There was no noise. Like, I just passed the fuck out, and then I woke up, and I'm like, Rachel would have died. Like, she wouldn't have been able to sleep like that. Like, I was home alone, sleeping in the pitch black with no TV, no sound, like, just passed out.
And you're probably fully clothed. How do you do this?
Yeah, under the covers.
No fucking fan and a hot-ass comforter.
But, like, I was that tired that I wasn't even, like...
I wish I knew what it was like to be tired. I literally, like, I could stay up hours and hours and hours.
Is it because you're scared, though?
It's a mixture. I mean, I do sleep better when Justin's home, but
Well, I always mention that on the podcast. Like, why do so many people I know have trouble sleeping? This isn't normal. Like, this is a natural human behavior
It's
that our
environmental.
body
It's
needs.
everything.
Yeah, like there's so many factors that are contributing to us not being able to sleep at night. It's really messed up.
Lately, I've been feeling like just like paranoid, like I'm itchy all over. Like I can't go to sleep. Like I feel itchy. Like I'm jumping out of my skin. So like I just haven't been able to sleep because of that.
You need to get Reiki done. I tell everyone that comes to my podcast, I'm like, get Reiki. Like, I just need to become a Reiki master so people, like, the people in my life can get it done, and I feel like so many of their problems would be alleviated.
Yeah, that's another thing Jorianne said. Oh, yeah, you're gonna do. Okay, Adrianna, am I going to do everything? I'm going to fucking train dogs, be a Reiki master.
Train dogs?
Yeah, she said some shit about
that?
dogs. Like, I don't even like my own dog. Like, I'm not training dogs.
She's literally giving you, like you say, you don't know what you want to do, and she's literally giving you options or ideas for you to pursue. And
they're not supposed to be. She's supposed to be a sidekick. She's not supposed to be giving me options. She's supposed to be giving me, hey, this is what you're gonna fucking do.
Right. So do it already. Like follow the path that she's telling you about.
I don't know.
Sleeping at night. Everyone has a routine, and I can't even, like, thinking about scary stuff, no, it just makes me, like, okay, so in high school, I watched, it was a devil movie, but I don't remember the name of it, and I'm not kidding, I had to sleep with my TV on for 3 months after, because I was so petrified.
Well, I just don't like to fuck with that shit, because I feel like if I watch it, I'm gonna be possessed.
I know, that's the scariest
I'm like, they're
thing
fucking
to
chanting, and like doing all these rituals, like, and I'm watching it, like, I'm just like this
but they
bad
say
energy.
that that's like real. Like people have talked to like priests or like people in the Catholic Church who have like been like, yeah, that stuff actually happens.
Were
like,
you baptized?
Yeah.
They try to
But
say
I'm
that
not
like if you're
religious.
baptized, you won't get possessed.
No, but like, how is that even a real thing? Because I feel like if it was, we would hear about it more.
What? Exorcist?
Like it would be on the news or something.
Maybe the church tries to hide it. I mean, it's definitely happened, but people say that it's all a hoax and that it's fake and blah blah blah. But like, there has to be. I mean, The Conjuring. Those were like the Warrens. They did that for real, like exorcists and shit like that. So I don't know.
Or maybe it just doesn't exist as much today as it did back in the day. I don't know.
I'm glad, bitch. If I get possessed,
I don't even want to look into it because it freaks me out, but I just
why
like...
aren't I getting possessed?
Don't even like put that energy out there. Knock it off. No.
You're the one who brought up devils. Like, I wasn't even
because
thinking
I
about
said
that.
those movies scare me the most, and they said The Exorcist is still like considered the most scary movie that's ever been made.
You know, I think that Rosemary's Baby is fucking scary. I don't like Rosemary's Baby.
I've never even seen that movie.
It's slow, it's older, but like I just like even right after all that happened, Roman Polanski was the director to that, and it was about a pregnant woman and his wife at the time, Sharon Tate, was pregnant. She got fucking killed by Charles Manson's crew, like right around that same time, and it's like
that's crazy that he directed that and then something similar happened.
Yeah.
Like, so what is the premise of that movie?
So basically, this guy, his name is Guy, and Rosemary, they're a young couple. They move to the place where John Lennon actually got shot. That's where it's filmed at. And they have these neighbors, and these neighbors are like Satanists. Like they have like a group, they get together, they do all this shit, and they approach Guy without Rosemary knowing, and they're like, hey, this is like what we do. Like, you want to be famous, you want to be this, you want to be that. Like, I'm going to tell you what you have to do. You have to do these rituals, and she's not pregnant to begin with. You're going to do these rituals, and like in return, like you're going to give us like this sacrifice. So he like gets with them and he does this weird ritual shit, and he basically rapes Rosemary in her sleep, and she thinks it's a dream. Oh. And it's like this whole spiritual ritual, and like all these other old people are there that are Satanists, and they're like all naked, and she thinks it's a dream. She ends up being pregnant, and it's the devil's baby.
Of course.
The Satanists like have their own doctor and everything like that. She's getting like sicker and sicker because they're like giving her all this weird shit that like a devil would eat.
Ew.
And like it's just like fucking weird, bro. And then like he was starting to get famous and like starting to get casted in roles, and like the people that were like runners up, or like the people that were supposed to get it, like they were just magically like getting hurt, breaking legs, like dying and stuff like that. And it's like basically like tied in with like devil, Illuminati, like Satanists, and it's like
like
all
occult stuff.
Yeah, and it's all in the '60s, and it's just like fucking weird. Like I don't like it.
That's not based on a true story, is it?
No, but like so all that stuff was happening.
Wait, so what? Sorry, what ends up happening to her baby? Like the
So she gives birth to the baby, and then they try to take the baby from her. And even though she knows it's like the devil, she like is like attached to it still because it's her baby.
Right.
But I don't know if they sacrificed it or if they were raising it to be like a
leader.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's a Rosemary's Baby too, but I never watched that because that's lame.
That's interesting. But you said like after he directed that movie, then obviously all that stuff happened with Charles Manson, and like she was pregnant and died, which is just like so fucked up.
And everybody thought that they were Satanists too, so it's like a weird thing.
Well, and it's interesting that it was filmed in a place where John Lennon was shot too.
I don't know. The whole thing is just weird. Like Roman Polanski wasn't even in the States when the shit was happening. And it's almost like, did you fucking sacrifice your baby and your wife for this to happen? Like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know. Like, the whole thing was just weird because they said that Charles Manson was all about Hollywood. Like, he was trying to get him, like, he was giving his records to, like, the Beach Boys, like, and it's just, like, this whole thing. And, like, it was
like
all
somehow
like,
it's all connected.
Well, Charles Manson claims that he was hired by, like, the government, and, like, they all knew that what he was doing, and they were, like, promoting this, and blah, blah, blah. It's, like, this whole Hollywood scandal, and, like, I don't know. It's just, like, a whole thing. It's, like, a tangent. I don't know.
That's interesting, though, because I like conspiracies. Like, I didn't know about, like, the whole Rosemary's Baby thing, too. Yeah. So, I don't know. I just feel like you have to be careful when you're tapping into that thing because you could unconsciously be tapping into an energy that you don't even know, and then, like, all this weird thing starts happening in your life. That's why I just don't, like...
That's probably why that stuff happens to me.
What do you mean?
Because I watch all this shit. Like, all this, like, bad energy and, like, me being scared all the time and stuff like that. Like, because I, like, read up on this stuff and, like, I just, like, know too much.
Well, I think it intrigues you, but, like, it also scares you because some of it is scary.
Yeah.
Like, if there really are spirits around you and you're feeling these energies and stuff, like, yeah, that's definitely scary. Have you saged?
Not in a long time. The last time I saged was at my mom's house.
Well, you need to sage here. Like, the fact that you haven't concerns me because I'm sleeping over, and now I feel like I'm going to be scared tonight.
Oh, my God. Yeah, and you're sleeping in that room and there's not even a TV.
I don't sleep with my TV on.
I know, but it's like a new place. Like, it's like, are you going to sleep with the door open or closed?
Well, now I'm going to be freaking scared.
You'll be fine. Open will sleep with you.
Stuff. Yeah, right. He'll just wake me up to go to the bathroom or, like, do weird stuff.
No, you'll probably wake him up to go to the bathroom.
That too. We'll both, like, be up in the middle of the night.
You'll be in the fucking cabinet eating Cheez-Its.
No, but I don't want to have to wake up in the middle of the night and, like, use the bathroom, and now I'm, like, afraid that...
My house isn't even that scary.
I should have brought sage over. I don't know why I didn't. It doesn't last that long, though. They have sage...
Like BO.
No, it doesn't. They have sage spray that's, like...
Is that the same thing?
No, it smells completely different than, like, actually burning it.
Yeah.
I should have bought you some for your birthday off Amazon, but I didn't think of it until now. Anyways, so... Yeah, that's why I said I don't even try to tap into anything that could potentially open up that weird stuff, and that's why I would never mess with a Ouija board, because, like, people always, anyone that's ever messed with it has said that something weird has happened after.
Yeah, that's probably why, like Trenny and I played it, like, a long, long time ago, and we played it in a cemetery, like...
I cannot believe you did that.
I know. I'll
played
never
with
do it
a
again.
Ouija board in the cemetery.
We've played it multiple times. We played it in the McDonald's parking lot. We've played it at my dad's house. We've played it at the cemetery.
And, like, weird stuff happened to you?
Yeah, like, I don't even want to talk about it.
I know, because it'll scare you.
And
but
not in this house.
You said that she had to, like, sleep with the lights on. Like,
she still does.
Still.
Yeah, like,
because of that.
I don't know how it is. No, just because of everything. She's always scared. Like, she always, like, sees things in her room, and, like, she just always has to have the light on.
Ew, fuck that. I could not imagine. That would be my worst nightmare, literally.
Yeah.
No, I still can't believe you did that. That's just insane to me.
Bitch, I can't believe I did it. I was probably drunk. Like, I was in high school. Like, what the fuck was I thinking?
See, there's, like, a part of you that, like, likes being scared and wants to explore it more. but then you torture yourself at the same time.
If I had somebody with me 24/7, I wouldn't be scared. Like, my mom literally has to sleep over here when Justin works. Like, yesterday was, like, the first time she didn't sleep over, and I was pissed. And I was like, okay, good, tonight Adrianna's sleeping over. So
now you're safe. That's probably when you're like, are you sleeping over? And I'm like, well, yeah, it'd be easier. You're probably like, yes.
I was.
I'm surprised you didn't beg me and be like, can you sleep over?
Well, if you said no, I'd been like, well, are you sure?
Well, you should, because that's funny. Well, you're lucky that your mom lives close and will do that. Are you kidding me? If I literally was like, Mom, can you sleep over because I'm scared, she'd be like, too bad, fuck you.
Well, I think also it's like a win-win because my mom always eats the food in my house. Like, she eats my French onion dip, my ice cream, and everything like that. So, and she's obsessed with Oakland.
Right.
And she sleeps on the couch at her house anyway because she gets really hot and it's hot in the house. So, I mean, the only thing that she hates here is because I don't have cable. And she always wants to watch her shitty-ass shows like fucking Real Housewives.
That's such a boomer thing. They need their cable.
I need to watch my Real Housewives.
Real
like,
Housewives.
Who the fuck wants to watch that?
I know, like, I like reality TV, but something about that show, I just have never been intrigued.
Well, I watch shit like that. Like, I'll watch, like, Naked and Afraid or, like, Bachelor in Paradise, and Becca always roasts me. She's like, what's with you in this? Or, like, I'll watch, like, Hoarders, or, like, like, I'm, like, obsessed with shit like that, and, like, Intervention, and, like, everybody makes fun of me, but whatever. I don't care.
I don't know, my reality TV, it's gotten less and less over the years. I just don't find it entertaining anymore. Like, Bachelor sucks. I hate that show.
Well, I don't watch Bachelor, and my mom got me hooked on watching Bachelor in Paradise, so I want to just finish it. Like, I watched it, like,
I heard that's better. Like, I feel like more people watch that now than, like, the actual Bachelor or Bachelorette.
Well, when I put this on, I haven't watched Bachelor, and I don't even know how long, and I didn't know fucking one person on Bachelor in Paradise. I'm like, who the fuck are these people?
I know. Well, I just feel like all of them are trying to be, like, Instagram famous now. We're getting off topic, but, yeah, reality TV. Well, my dad's pissed because he used to love the Travel Channel, but now it's only, like, the Ghost Show. They literally don't put anything else on there except, like, paranormal activity.
What would he watch?
They had, like, it was the Travel Channel. They would, like, show different countries and stuff. Like, why would you put ghost stories on? Right, like the Travel Channel. Make a separate channel for it then.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way they'll get viewers now is because people will only watch creepy stuff and not actual, like, travel information.
Your dad's, like, the only one left in the world that wants sports.
Seriously.
Like, go look online.
I know.
The stuff that our parents do that, like, I don't know. Just
yeah,
so
that we don't.
Bizarre to me.
It's such, like, a generational thing. It's so funny.
It is.
I still won't watch even ghost shows on TV because I remember I did when I was little and I was traumatized from
okay,
that.
you're literally like 27 now. Like,
I never get over it. Since I was little, I haven't watched ghost shows. Since I was in high school, I haven't watched devil movies. Like, I won't. I know,
refuse. We talked about this the last podcast. How you won't watch any scary
No,
movies.
because then I'm traumatized for life. It won't happen. Hey, at least I'm open to watching Halloween and, like, It.
Because that's lame.
No, I know some people that won't even watch one scary movie because they hate them that much.
That's so weird to me.
It happens. Like, my grandma, she will not.
Of course, your grandma.
I know.
Your grandma who won't do anything.
She's a
won't watch
agoraphobic. No, but, like, she won't watch anything that has a shred of violence, a shred of creepiness. Like, okay, so, you know that movie Labyrinth? That's, like, my favorite. So I remember when I was, like, 7, I, like, brought it over to her house to watch, and there's one scene, I mean, it's a kind of a creepy movie, but there's, like, one scene with a snake, and as soon as that scene came up, she was like, no, I'm turning this off, you can't watch it, I don't want to watch it.
Why? I mean, she must have really good energy then, because she doesn't let anything negative come in her life. Yeah. She won't even fucking leave
Unless
the house.
It's like an innocent, fluffy rabbit, she will not fuck with it.
Oh my god. Does she swear?
No.
God, she doesn't.
I mean, I've heard her swear, but it's super rare. Yeah, she's just, like, her own weird person, but, like...
What if she listens to this?
She would have stopped and you're like,
this is about serial killers. No,
I made her watch that movie, or that show, Emily in Paris, on Netflix, though, because I thought she would like it. So, as long as it's, like, super innocent and cheesy, then she's all about it.
She has Netflix? My grandma doesn't even know how to text.
I know. I set it up for them. so they have access to it. They're getting actually really good with technology. Like, I'm proud of them.
Really?
Yeah, like they have iPhones. My grandma knows how to use email. She has Netflix now.
See, at least
She
you're
uses
like
her
trying.
laptop.
There's some people that are just like, I didn't have it my whole life and I don't give a fuck about
Oh
it.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I talked about that before with like Barbara, who was on my last one. So I don't know, it's crazy, but yeah, some people, they just will not fuck with anything. Oh yeah, so one thing too. So supposedly the most common sun signs that serial killers are Gemini, Virgo, and Sagittarius, but most common is Virgo, and that's why there's a stereotype jokingly that like a Virgo is a serial killer.
My mom, Allison.
You so quickly were like, my mom.
Killers. Like, she's always like, Justin's like, yeah, when we would come home, she's like in the dark watching like Snap. This bitch is gonna be on Snap.
Right. That's hilarious. Well, okay, so I've talked about like the rising sign, the sun sign, and the moon. My moon's in Virgo, which is my emotions. So I'm like, could I have the potential to be a serial killer if my emotions are in Virgo?
I never understood what any of that meant until just this past weekend, and Amber and Becca looked mine up. Like, I don't know.
I told you what yours were. Like, I did it with you.
I don't even know. Like,
you're Sagittarius rising, Libra sun, Scorpio moon.
When they looked it up, I was double Scorpio, rising and moon.
Do you know your exact time of birth, which is?
12:31 p.m.
Okay, I'm going to do it because I feel like I've done it for like everyone. I'm obsessed with it, so I will confirm. And
she was like saying all this stuff, and I was like, yeah.
I'm a Scorpio rising, so I'd be surprised if you were too.
Yeah. I just remember I was double Scorpio.
Interesting. I know your moon was, but like, okay, so I'm Scorpio rising, Capricorn sun, Virgo moon, but I feel like my emotions are like, the thing with like having my moon in Virgo is that I don't cry easily. Like, I'm not, you would say that, right? Like, I'm not someone that like cries.
No.
If I do, it's because I'm super frustrated. But like, even like some people, like I have friends that will cry at like a happy song or like at weddings, and like it's not as easy for me to like cry at things like that. Like, I'm just not.
Becca never cries at anything.
Right. Like,
never.
Yeah, so I'm not someone who will like cry easily like that. Also, I feel like I'm super reserved in my emotions. Like, I am not, like, if I'm mad or like, you won't ever know how I truly feel.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very able easily to hide how I really feel sometimes. So, I don't know, like, it's just, and then going with that, like, I have to, like, keep my space super organized and be a perfectionist. And so I see where those Virgo traits come in, but I just find it interesting that those three signs in particular are like most commonly serial killers. Like, there's like
I can understand Gemini.
Dude, I hate Geminis. They're like one of my Geminis and Aries are my least favorite signs.
Really?
Yes. I do not fuck with them. Oh, my dad's a Gemini, so like obviously that's not entirely true, but like I would say there's some truth to these stereotypes. Like, Geminis are weird.
Yeah. Really?
They are. I know a lot of Geminis that like I don't like.
I think I only know like one. That's Alexis, Ian's sister, but I don't know any other Geminis. I don't think. Yeah.
You want to know who's a Gemini too?
Who?
Reem. Her stupid psycho ass. I still hate her.
She's listening.
I know. I hope she does. I talk crap about her before on here.
And she was the worst player ever.
Dude, I can't even, like, I'm not trying to come on here and bash people, but, like, if you know the history of that, then you know why I am openly, like, some people are just terrible human beings.
Yeah.
And I don't care if they're called out, like, come at me, let's fight.
Come at me, bro.
My mom's a Sagittarius, and her moon is in Gemini.
Justin's a Sag.
Dude, she could be psycho sometimes. Mom, if you're listening, I love you, but, like, you know it's true. Okay, so as I was formulating this episode, I wanted to look into the origin of Halloween because I honestly didn't know, like, why this is a holiday, how did it come to exist.
Yeah.
So in my research, it said it actually started in, like, Ireland and, like, Northern Europe. So it was a day to mark the end of summer at harvest, and that's when it starts to get, like, cold and dark, And so they believed it was the night before the new year, and the boundary between the worlds of the living and the dead, like, were at most where you could like contact them or something. And so on October 31st, they would have like the ceremony, and they believe that ghosts like would return to Earth from the dead. And so they would have like a huge bonfire, and they would wear like masks to like protect themselves from evil spirits, and they'd have like this harvest and like food and this celebration of just, I guess, preparing for winter in a sense. And they believed for whatever at this time that this was when the dead comes to Earth. So whatever, apparently this is how like the first origins of Halloween came to be. And so I just thought that was really interesting, because I'm like, why do we have a holiday where we like celebrate the dead and scary things and all that? But also like in Mexico, like they have something
I was
similar.
Day of the Dead is literally the day after Halloween for that.
And theirs is literally called Day of the Dead, right?
Yeah, or what is it? Dios los
Right, yeah, technically it's, I'm not even gonna try to say it, and like I don't, yeah. So but yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I thought it was interesting. It's definitely changed from like obviously what it very first started as, because then it said it like what it is today really started in like the 50s, where we would like trick or treat and go door to door, and like it was all about candy. So like it used to be like in the early days, it really was about honoring spirits and the dead, and there was more like a spiritual religious connotation to it, where now it's all about like fun, like, oh, candy and dressing up. And so that creepy side of it, like I read, they wanted to get rid of that. Like they didn't want the superstitions, they didn't want all the weird stuff associated with Halloween. Like they
saying in the 50s?
Yeah, they wanted it to turn it like family friendly. Do you ever know anything about how Halloween came to be at all?
No, I had no idea about any of that. I didn't even know that it started off like that at all. And I don't really understand like the whole winter thing. Like, what does that have to do with what it is now? It's like so different.
So based on the explanation I read, so like obviously this time of year, like it's a preparation for winter. It's like that transition where it's getting dark earlier. We're approaching the equinox, and so they just kind of felt like it was a time of like death in a sense, like the seasons are changing, but also they thought that spirits like came to Earth at this time too. And so they made a celebration out of it, and like that's how they would have like the bonfire, the harvest, the wearing the masks. I don't know, that's just like again what I read. So I just think it started as something so different and like progressed into something else. And then like America is such like a newer country and a melting pot, so I feel like they just took like different like rituals and practices from different cultures, because like I said, this sort of like thing kind of exists in like other countries and cultures too. Like you have it in Mexico, you had it in Europe. So it's like we brought these customs from other countries over here and then kind of made it like our own thing of what it is today.
Yeah, because I feel like in other countries they don't like go around and trick or treat or dress up and stuff like that.
They do in Europe. I read that's where we actually got that from.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I didn't think like even in like the UK and stuff like that, like I thought that they didn't even celebrate. They're like, it's nothing like how it is. Just like St. Patrick's Day, like it's nothing like how we do it in America.
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, like I said, we totally like made it our own and turned it into something new here. But like I said, they wanted to take all of like the creepy aspects out, like honoring the dead, talking to spirits, like all of that really went away at one time because they just wanted it to be family friendly. But that's still kind of what we're doing. Like, you know what I mean? That's why they make all these scary movies and people want to like do weird shit around Halloween with that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then also something interesting I read too was that Halloween, like that series was like basically like the first of like the slasher like murderer films. Like it started like the Scream and the Chuckies, and so it kind of was like the first one before all of those, which I thought was cool. Like it started an era of like scary movies.
Yeah, because that was in 1978, and that would have been around that time. I mean, they were having like other stuff like The Blob and like The Mist and stuff like that, like the black and white films, and they had like Dracula and Frankenstein, but it wasn't anything like gory or anything.
I was gonna say like the gory murderer, like stalker type movies. Like, I feel like that, like, Halloween was like one of the first.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, we saw the movie today,
and it sucked ass.
Yeah, it was really disappointing. I'm not gonna like spill anything, but I'm just like, they need to end it already.
I like that they had a lot of the same characters though as they did in the original one. Like, it was cool to see them older. But
I actually never watched the original one, but now I want to.
You've never watched the original Halloween?
No.
Oh my god.
First of all, I told you I don't like scary movies, and it's older, so
but you said that like those kind of movies don't count because they're not scary. Like, you know that there's no Michael Myers.
Well, I know. I would watch the original, like that. I'd be open to. Like I said, like the Scream and Halloween and like It movies, like I'm fine with that. It's like the ghosts and the devil ones that I'm like, no.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just wanted to like touch on that because, like I said, the origin of Halloween was really interesting to me, and so I'm glad that we got to talk all about the creepy things. And obviously, you were the perfect person to do it with, and so it kind of was like not like a part 2 to our first episode, but like similar vibes.
Yeah.
And so I wanted like a Halloween themed episode. I just thought it'd be really cool.
Yeah, it is. I love Halloween. I love everything about it. So I would always talk about it.
You embody Halloween to me.
Thanks. That's a compliment.
I know. Like, I think you were born in October for a reason.
Definitely.
So, yes, well, we are going to wrap up this episode. I hope that everyone has a awesome, fun, safe Halloween, and I hope you enjoyed this. I know all of you freaks like the creepy topics, so that's also why I'm not going to appeal to the masses every time and become a crime podcast, but like I said, I thought it'd be fun and something people would enjoy to listen to, so I will catch you around next time. Bye.
Bye.